Hey guys, welcome to Girl Meets Screen. My name is Norma, your host of whatever, and I'm back with another bathing suit top for you. Perfect Match, Season 2, Episode 7 through 9. Yo! Okay. Me and my cousins have been group chatting about the first 6 episodes, and y'all, because of the first season being so unserious in the perfect matching part of it, right? Like, it was just like, these people were just trying to win whatever the prize was. I couldn't, those first 6 episodes, I was not taking it seriously, right? That's why I was like, love me some Harry Jowsey, love me some Jess. Like, I'm like, loving the villains, hating the regular people. I will say I was right on a lot of it, but there have been some opinion changes. Like, 2 things can be true at once is essentially what I'm going to be getting at here. But I have to say, these episodes, it got serious. So we're going to talk about my feelings about it all. I have a lot of thoughts. Let's jump right in. So we were left off on the cliffhanger of whether Kaz chose Micah. He does end up choosing Micah. We jump in this episode with the competition or the challenge or whatever. And basically what it is the guys are going to be blindfolded and the girls are guiding them through this like situation where there's like a colored rope each of them has and it's all basically tangled up and they're untangling it to the finish line, right? So you win when you untangle your entire rope. The girls are guiding the blindfolded guys through getting the rope out. Micah and Kaz win. She said she needed to win, and they win. Yeah, basically, which was really good. Like, so we're starting off great, right? I'm like, okay, like these two actually connect. Like the communication's there. She's so funny. I have to say, Micah grew on me through Perfect Match. She grew on me a lot too after her Love Is Blind season because like she wasn't as problematic. She was owning up to her stuff, understanding where people were coming from about her friends, things like that. Well, I mean, you have to defend your friends, so kind of. But yeah, she was so cute. She was like, yeah, we were on it. I was like, up, down, like under, go, like she's like, I normally struggle, but I was so focused and he was listening to me. And like, yeah, their communication was really on point because he was just kind of like, okay, yeah, like listening to what she was saying where, sometimes in situations like that, you'll have somebody being like, but where, what do you mean? So he was literally just like doing as he was told, which we love. They go on a date and, they basically wind up talking about how they like each other. Micah says like, do you see us actually being a thing outside of this show? And he's like, yeah, no, 100%, I totally do. We get a scene of Harry having all these little like ripped up notes that he wrote about Jess, and on one of them he puts like how he's so excited to like, what does he say, like be a dad with her. One says like, you're a great mom. One says like, I want to be a cool dad like for Autumn, like you, because you're a cool mom, or something like that. So really cute little notes. I want to clarify that, like, I wasn't saying Harry was all innocent in the last part. Like, I do like him. I like him a little bit less after these episodes, but I do think he's genuine in his feelings for Jess. I just think, old habits die hard, and so he's really struggling here. Of course, Micah and Kaz are now in the boardroom, and they decide to bring in Britain for Stefan, which, if you remember, when Stefan and Alara were in the boardroom, he said that was his complete physical type. So they're bringing him in for Stefan and then Nigel in for Alara, which again, if you remember through Dom, we find out that her type is tall, dark, and handsome, which Nigel very much is. So they're setting them up, gonna test the waters. They go on these 2 dates. Alara's and Nigel's is like a massage date. He's like massaging her, whatever. Stefan and Britain end up like on a little motorcycle thing that has a sidecar. He's in the sidecar, she's driving, whatever. Nick shows up at the house to ask how it went. Stefan is like, yeah, she's totally my type. Like, it was totally fun, yada, yada, yada. Alara walks away and they're like, oh, she's going to the bathroom. And Stefan's like, oh, she's crying. He goes and sits with her and he's like, yeah, I kissed her. Like, I was just feeling it, and I wouldn't want to tell you, like, yeah, it was here. I was feeling it here. If I wasn't, and it was over there. And then he's like, and also, like, I was just kidding. None of that ever happened. And you guys, I fell for her. I was sitting there like, wait, why didn't we see any of that? Like, what's going on? No, Stefan, how dare you? And, like, my heart was dropping out of my butt like hers. And when he said that, I was laughing just like her. Like, that, he had her. Like, that scene is hilarious. Just go just watch for that scene. Because why you do her like that? But it's so cute. He's like, I couldn't stop thinking about you. Like, and she's like, oh my God. And so they really like each other. And I just really, really hope it's real. They're gonna break my heart if this was like just for the show. They better still be together today. We have a very comical scene of Nigel trying to holler at Jess while simultaneously saying, Harry's my boy. Jess is like, go explore. Talk to everyone. Mingle with everyone. Give everyone a chance. Kaz turns into a clown oh so very quickly. He starts talking to Britann. Like, what are you doing? He starts flirting with her. At one point, I think she tells Micah that, like, he didn't even mention her, but he tells her he did, which I don't think he did. I think he mentioned her, like, yeah, that's my first match, but not on some, like, yeah, we're matching on a deep level. Which, like, might not seem like a big deal because of the show's concept, but, like, they literally just were on a date where he said he would date her outside of this, and, like, he essentially really likes her. That's so shitty. Like, and to me, that's not playing the game because, like, everybody's gonna vote for perfect match and nobody was, like, on that date with you to, like, see that or know that. So, like, why say that? Like, he's such a weirdo for that. But, yeah, basically, him and Micah end up talking about it. And, like, essentially, she's just asking him for reassurance. And he's like, you're tripping every time I talk to somebody. And she is not in the way he's trying to say. And also, like, with every right, because it's like, why is it that a new girl comes into the building and you're the only freaking guy trying so hard to talk to her? Like, what is going on here, sir? Justin and Elise match. Harry and Jessica match. No shocker there. Tolu and Chris match. And then Micah does end up matching with Kaz. I guess they kind of talk it out. But it's just this awkward laughing and, like, I don't know. It's essentially just Micah trying to look past it to see if, like, they can, like, go further. Does that make sense? Like, she's like, you know, it is the beginning, so, like, it's fine. We'll just keep going, keep seeing. But then he's just, like, shitting all over her. It's so stupid. Episode 8. It gets freaking ridiculous at this point. Basically, Nick sends the guys out on a guy's day and the girls out on a girl's day, but has the other guys and the other girls that have been in the house throughout the season on these days. So the girls all show up where the guys are at, the guys all show up where the girls are at. For the most part, the girls don't do anything. We just have Micah talking to Brighton about how unsure she is about Kaz because he makes her feel insecure, makes her feel like they're not safe together, matched. We also have Brighton trying to convince Elise that he liked her, but he wasn't trying to step on Harry's toes, yada yada yada. Dom and Jess have, like, a friendly conversation, not like a flirty one. And I believe that is all for the girls and, like, the guys that came into the house. But then we have, I think Nigel tries to, like, mangle, but whatever. For the guy side though, it's a freaking mess. Oh, I forgot to mention, 2 people who, like, weren't in do show up. So, like, Trevor for the guys, Christine for the girls were 2 people that, like, never got picked, who do get sent in. Christine is looking desperate as hell. I can't put it any other way. I'm sorry. I'm gonna come off as very not girls in these episodes, but I think that a girl's girl calls out girls on weird behavior, you know? But yeah, she's, like, trying so hard to get Kaz to kiss her and, like, pick her over Micah, which, like, it's a little icky if you ask me, but he's sitting there, like, not exactly being like, yeah, no, I'm not, like, no, I'm not thinking about that. Because, like, no, he doesn't kiss her, but, like, he's not shutting it down. He's not like, oh, no, which, again, you said you like this girl so much you date her outside of this. Like, this makes no sense whatsoever. But that's one thing we have going there. We have Chris telling Xanthi he didn't really have the opportunity to explore because he was tied down with Tolu, and that out in the world, him and Xanthi would totally have hooked up. And she's like, yeah, no, I like a gentleman. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? So yeah, he ain't shit. We have Harry carrying Melinda around. At one point, Melinda is saying that they kissed. Holly's claiming to have seen it. Okay. I'm going to share my opinion on this later on when we kind of come to the head of this situation. We have Izzy talking. I think Izzy, like, likes Micah. Like I want to date you outside of this, likes Micah. He creeped her out. He creeped us all out with looking all obsessed about her in episode 1. But he apologized for that now. He's like, I didn't mean to come off that way. It's just like, you know, I really like your vibe. All that. Like, saying how he likes her. And so that could be, like, a potentially good match if Micah wasn't, like, looking at it in that way. Because she says she's trying to find her perfect match. I know on the show it's like everyone's saying that. But to me, sometimes it seems like some people really are trying to find that. And I think if she is, she needs to like open up her eyes and heart a little bit to Izzy, but that's just me. So we are back at the house after these days. Everyone gets home. Jessica realizes Harry is not downstairs with everyone else. They're like, oh, he's laying down upstairs. She goes up. He's all in the blanket, all dramatic. And she's like, what's going on? She already knows something's up. And he's like, oh, I'm just not feeling well. And then he's basically like, oh, I was so disappointed in how I acted and yada, yada, yada. And he tells her what happened. He's not necessarily omitting everything, but like, it's presented fairly mild. Oh, she had to go to the bathroom and I carried her. But he is admitting, like, he's saying, like, I'm disappointed in that and why I did that and, like, all of that. So it's like, I think it was, like, doing his best to be accountable, but also fearing, like, their thing ending because of that. Essentially, they kind of end up going back and forth. Jessica's kind of like, dude, you're not going to sit here and, like, think you're gonna make me feel bad for you. Like, I don't. You're a grown man who should be responsible for his actions. But they do end up hugging because he's like, you know, I love you. Like, I want to be with you forever, for outside of here, all of that. And so, like, they make up but don't make up, if that makes sense. Like, she's, like, showing him, which is honestly, like, she's so great for that. And she would be so amazing in the right relationship. Because that's one of the hardest things to do with your partner is, like, when you're having a disagreement, and you know that the other person is in the wrong, but you still have to, like, show your partner love, right? Like, if you're married or you're in a relationship, every time you have a disagreement, you're not going to be like, can't stand you, don't want to be with you. You're like, look, I still love you. We're not good. This needs to be fixed. But, like, it's still us. And so I like that she was able to do that. Obviously, you don't always want to do that. Sometimes some situations, just no, you don't deserve that. And obviously with this situation, we're just not sure. We can't see everything. We don't know what she's thinking, what he's thinking. But it's nice to see she has those skills. Next day, I believe, Nick announces it's a free-for-all. Everyone's back in the house. All those guys and girls that were out on those, everyone is back. Everyone can mingle. And the people that are still in the house can pick their same partner or someone new. This episode ends, basically, all the girls sit down to talk together. And Melinda starts, Melinda confronts Jess. She's basically like, Jess, what did you hear? What did Harry tell you? And she tells her, and she's like, he's a liar. Like, he kissed me. He kissed me 3 times. Blah, 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 blah. All this stuff. We're moving in episode 9. And so the confrontation continues. But now I can spill my feelings. Spill my beans, my feeling beans. I am like 80% sure Melinda is lying. There is a small piece of me that's like, I don't know. And no, it is not because I'm defending Harry, because whether they kissed or not, his behavior that day was completely inappropriate. Like, the way he was flirting with her and every other girl and egging every other guy on, like, it was very much not the mature Harry he claims to be, the mature Harry in therapy that he claims to be. Let me just say, you guys, therapy is not a couple weeks and you're fixed, okay? Harry needs a lot more time of that to get to that place. And I hope that he realized that after this show. I do think she's lying. If you watch my first video, episodes 1 through 6, I feel like she did the same thing about Chris, saying that he told her he was leaving Toulouse, this, and that. And I feel like had he said that, we would have seen it. Like, I don't think Perfect Match would have left that out. I could be wrong, but I don't know. Then again, the way Chris spoke to Santhi, I wouldn't doubt it. But it just seemed a little bit fake. And it seemed a little bit like I'm trying to stir trouble. And just the way she was acting in the episode that they brought her in at the end, I was just like, yeah, I don't know about this. So I do feel like maybe she did just say it for her 15 minutes of fame or whatever. I don't know. Like I said, I'm 80% that it did not happen. Although I do question in Harry's confessional, he's like, it didn't happen. It was a deep fake. And so I'm like, okay, wait. So it did happen and he's trying to lie? I can't fully tell. Okay, so maybe I'm like 70-30 at this point. We've gone down a little bit now that we think about it. But, yeah, and it also is weird. Like, so basically episode 9 is a continuation of, like, them arguing about it. And Jessica's, like, trying to get a word in. She won't let her get a word in. Basically, Jessica's trying to be like, you could have, like, said that to me privately. And so she was like, well, I don't want to discredit, like, your experience. It's hard to feel like I should believe you when I'm thinking about your intentions behind it. And I think that makes so much sense. Like, that's not what she said. I'm saying that that's clearly what she was trying to say, was like, you said it in front of this table of women almost to like throw it in my face or to be like, oh, so gross and I'm so wanted. Like, it just didn't seem like it was coming from a genuine place. And so then you have to question if it's true, you know? And then a lot of people, a few of the people on the show who know her, Melinda, were like, yeah, she kind of does things like that. So you're kind of like, okay, so yeah, she's trying to start some stuff. What cracked me up with Melinda was she goes, we're not going to sit here and argue about mediocre men. And then thankfully, Elise is like, okay, but you're calling them mediocre, but you let them kiss you? Like, and I'm like, thank you. Because like, you can sit there and say that all you want, but you were like actively flirting with them, whether you were trying to take them seriously or not. Like, look, we have people like Xanthi who are like, I'm just going to come have a good time because what are these men, right? So it's like, you can call them mediocre and in the same breath you're trying to get with them. Like, girl, what? We hear Harry talking to Dom, expressing his love for Jess and how he feels like he messed up, but he really loves her, yada, yada, yada. Dom gives him a hug. Then we have Xanthi telling Tolu about how Chris said that, like, he feels like he didn't get the full experience and yada, yada. And so Tolu goes to talk to Chris and he's like, yeah, no, that's a lie. Call her over, call her over. And I'm like, you're dumb. He calls her over. She repeats exactly what Tolu said she said. And he's like, that's not true. She's like, that's not true. She's like, Tolu, I'm gonna have to walk away. Like, there's no way we're doing this lying thing. And it's so stupid because he's like, no, it's not true. What I said was, and he literally says what she said he said. Excuse me, sir? Also, I want to know if she also told her how he said that he would sleep with her if they were outside of there. Because, like, what the hell are you talking about, dude? And yeah, basically Tolu is like, you know what? Like, go ahead and explore. Don't consider me in your way. You go explore because I'm going to go explore. All we get from Stefan and Alara is absolute bliss and cutefulness from them in this episode. He's getting her a drink. He's like helping her sit. Like, it's just so stinking cute. Nothing bad to say about them at all. Of course they match and like go off and be beautiful together. I'm obsessed. Like I said, this better be real. I don't remember if I mentioned, but on the whole, like, the guys that showed up to the girls' day, Brighton was trying really hard to get either Micah or Elise to, like, match up with him. On the girls' day out, he ended up telling Micah that, like, Kaz wanted to, like, explore other options and all this stuff. Then he goes back to her again, like, trying to convince her again to match with him. Brighton goes to Kaz to say that Micah was saying that, like, they're the worst pairing and yada, yada, yada. And Kaz is like, what the hell? She just told me we're the best. All this shit. Which Brighton is definitely stirring the pot because it's like, he's kind of telling a truth, but like, spinning it. So he's saying that she said they're the weakest couple, yada, 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 when that's not what she said. She said, I am insecure in us, like, each other. I feel like as a couple, they're definitely not weak, but I think between the two of them, they are having some very, like, deep issues. Kaz and Micah end up sitting down and having a conversation where she's essentially like, I just like you, and I think that's why I'm struggling, because I just want reassurance, and yada, yada. And he's like, what am I supposed to do with that? Like, what do I say to that? And you're like, wow, okay, guy, okay. And yeah, she's basically like, I like you, like, I'm not exploring any other options, because I do know that I like you. And he's like, yeah, you know, I'm just going to keep doing what I've been doing, which is being honest and true to myself. And she's like, okay, so basically what you're saying is you're not sure of me. Like, what the fuck? Is he dumb or is he dumb? Then he walks over to the kitchen where Christine is at and basically tells Christine she's his number one. After she, like, begs him to, basically. But yeah, he says she's his number one. Won't kiss her. But then he goes to play a game that the house is playing where they're doing something. And if they lose, they have to, like, pick the person they like the most to kiss or something. We've got a ton of people kissing. We got Christine and Nigel kiss, Tolu and Nigel kiss, and then Kaz kisses Holly. Like, make it make sense. What is his brain doing right now? He must be drunk. Like, he must be drunk out here. Because like, you start shit with Micah because you're flirting with Christine, but then you kiss Holly. Like, where is your head? What are we doing? What's going on here? I'm not, what's going on? Micah, of course, is like, I can't breathe. I'm going to throw up. Like, this is disgusting. I'm disgusted. He sits down to talk to her and essentially proceeds to try to gaslight her into thinking that she's the one doing. He flips the script. He's basically saying she's doing what she says he's doing. And it's just a mess. Like, she's like, what are you talking about? Like, you know, he's like, I can't, like, you get like this if I talk to anyone. And she's like, no, you, like, because it's true. Anytime she would talk to somebody, suddenly he was, like, all about her, and she's the one confusing him. She's the one making him not sure of her feelings. Like, when anytime she's ever talked to a guy, it was because he was like talking to someone else, and she was like, well, I'm not gonna be the fucking dummy left in the dust, you know? So it's so stupid to watch him do this. Then we have Elise. I totally forgot to mention, when Micah first starts talking to Brighton on this night, suddenly Elise is like, I don't know why I'm so bothered by this, yada, yada, yada. And then now we have Elise like trying to match with Brighton or trying to talk to Brighton. And at first I was like, what is she doing and why? Like, I'm not understanding. And then I realized Shorty is really still stuck on this revenge plot. Like, I know this started as a revenge plot, but then when she started getting to know Justin and stuff, I thought like maybe she was like, well, I'm just gonna enjoy it. Who cares what Harry's doing? Who cares that I think Micah set me up? No, she's literally revenge plotting this. She tries to get Kaz to leave Micah, right? Episode 6, that's how it ended. Now she's like, oh, suddenly she's interested in Brighton. Why? Because he's talking to Micah. And she knows that she's egged on Kaz. Because I forgot to mention that in the last episode, they were all like trying to egg on Britain and Nigel to basically come between Micah and Kaz. And Kaz flips out because he's like, why are y'all playing? Like, feels like y'all are talking behind my back and I don't like that. Like, if you got something to say to me. This isn't the third. So yeah, she's out here trying to fuck shit up. And I don't know how to make that connection until now. She ends up with Brighton. She leaves Justin in the dust. She tries to go talk to Justin. And Justin's like, I don't want to talk to you. Don't need to talk to you. Like, what is there to talk about? I'm going home. Like, you played me. You took all my time. Micah ultimately decides to match with Izzy, and it's kind of funny because Izzy's like, yeah, of course, I totally got you, man. I told you I got you. And she's like matching with him, and she's like making sure he knows it's friendly. She's like whether it's a friendship or whether it's like romantic or a friendship, like, I just feel like you're the realest person here. She's essentially like, we're just matching as friends. Don't get any ideas, but like, I'm gonna stay, so I'm matching with you. So yeah, Micah and Izzy are matched up as friends. No. I do think they could be a good match, though. I hope that she, like, gives him a fair shot in that last episode. I don't think that's gonna happen, but maybe, who knows? Maybe they're dating now. And then, oh, Tolu. I was literally like, no, Tolu, no. But she stays with Chris. She stays with Chris. What is she thinking? Why isn't her brain working the way it should, you guys? What the heck? She's basically like, you have to be all in on me. Like, girl, he's fake tears. Like, oh, it's just like, I you messed up. He don't. No, like, this man has been looking at his options every freaking like elimination or whatever you call it. Like, oh, Tolu, no, baby, no. And basically this episode ends with Jess and Harry talking it out again. Harry's kind of like getting defensive, and Jess is just kind of like, you don't have any room to do that. Like, I'm the one who has, you know, like, I have a daughter, like, who's gonna look at the decisions I'm making. We are left on that cliffhanger, but I'm pretty sure they choose each other. But that's it. I'm hyped. This season has been so good and jam-packed with bullshit, bro. Like, I'm literally like, and these 3 episodes, I kid you not, I wish I had recorded myself watching, because I literally was like, no, what are you kidding? The gaslighting! Like, I was so blown away. It's crazy. I hope you guys enjoyed this recap and review. Like the video if you did. Comment down below, who's your perfect match? Who's your perfect match? I need to know. For me, it's obviously Steven and Alara. Like, there's no other. But let me know yours. Subscribe for more content like this, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!